true revolutionary, a patriot of patriots, a man of action, and an individual whose death is still a mystery for many of us. Hello children, welcome to Rockville Academy virtual classes, and today we are going to learn about the individual who is best known to us as Netaji. Subhash Chandra Bose, you have to learn only a little bit about him, especially because of the reduced syllabus. Therefore, while dealing with this chapter on Netaji, as per the reduced syllabus, now you all know the reduced syllabus, you all have got this last time through your class groups. In the reduced syllabus of 2021, there are only two things that we are required to study. The first one is forward block and its objectives. The second topic will be the contribution of INA. These are just three things that we need to learn about Netaji. However, as a teacher, I do not think I will be doing justice if I straight away jump on to forward block without giving you a background or explaining to you about the biography of Netaji. So let me start off with the early life of Netaji. Netaji was born, on 23rd January, I'm writing it here, 1897, in a very well-to-do Bengali family at Cuttack, which is in Orissa today. So therefore, if you look at the calendars in your houses, in your homes, then you will see that 23rd of January is a national holiday because it is celebrated as Netaji's birthday. Now, because I explained to you that he happened to come from a very well-to-do Bengali family, he received very good education, got himself enrolled in the Presidency College, and later went to England also for higher studies. So the very fact that he went to England will tell us that he definitely belonged to a very well-to-do family. He also passed the ICS examination. Children, do you remember Surendranath Banerjee was the first Indian to crack the ICS examination. Subhash Chandra Bose also, he passed the ICS examination in 1920. And therefore, he also got the job of a civil servant. But having done so, however, there was some kind of guilt in him. Or you could say that he would not compromise with his principles, his ideologies. Remember, he is also a man of principles. Therefore, he left the job. It was a very well-paying job, very lucrative job, but he gave up his job because he felt that he could not work under the British, whom he viewed as his enemy. So this uncompromising attitude of Netaji, which refused to work under the enemy, made him join political activities that were happening in India at that point of time at a very young age. Just at the age of 24, imagine at the age of 24, Netaji decided to join politics. And at that point of time, we also had Gandhiji, who had come from South Africa, and he had just launched his famous and his first non-cooperation movement. Netaji was very actively involved in the non-cooperation movement, but its suspension in 1922 made him realize that somewhere his ideologies and Gandhiji's ideologies do not match. Remember, I started with the first line referring to him as a revolutionary. He was a revolutionary, but Mahatma Gandhi would not give into the revolutionary ideals. So the differences in opinion, the rift had actually started from then on. So he left the Congress and he joined Swarajya Party. After the suspension of the non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji joined the Swarajya Party in 1923. Why Swarajya Party? Swarajya Party was steeped in this Swarajya Party that I am talking about. Alright? It believed in the ideas of socialism. And Netaji, therefore, he liked it, he favored this socialist idea and he joined the Swarajya Party in 1923. Again, when Mahatma Gandhi launched his second most popular movement, which is the civil disobedience movement, again Netaji, keeping his differences aside, did help or support Gandhiji at that time also. But again, the withdrawal in 1935 made him realize that they both belong to two opposite blocks. Therefore, now we come to the most important sessions, that is the Haripura and the Tripuri sessions, where in front of the public, to the people, it was very evident that Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose were poles apart, that their ideas did not match. So, talking about the importance of the Haripura and Tripuri session. In 1938, in the Haripura session of the Congress, Subhash Chandra Bose was unanimously elected as the President of the Congress. He had by that time become very, very popular. People liked his ideas. People supported his principles and ideologies. That is the reason why he was elected as the President of the Congress. The very next year, that is 1939, it was again quite obvious that because during his tenure, during his term of office, Subhash Chandra Bose had performed excellently well as a president, that he would be re-elected. For the second time also, for all the good work that he has done, Subhash Chandra Bose had every chance to be re-elected as the next president of the Congress for the second time. This was not liked by Gandhiji. So he put up his candidate. Now we have Subhash Chandra Bose as a presidential candidate, but in his opposition, Gandhiji, he handpicked a candidate whose name was Pattabhi Sitaramaiah against Subhash Chandra Bose. Anyway, this was a very, very thrilling contest between the two. What was the result? The result was that, I think you all must have guessed by now, Subhash Chandra Bose got re-elected for the second time as the President of the Congress. Why wouldn't he be elected? I have already used several adjectives to describe him. And looking at his nature, looking at his dedication, the people decided that he should become the President of the Congress. Mahatma Gandhi took this very, very personally. He felt that the defeat of Pattabhi Sitaramaiah was his personal defeat. And in one of the meetings also, he stated that the defeat of Sitaramaiah was the defeat of Gandhiji. So this time, he played the emotional card. And as you all know, the Indians are very sentimental and emotional. We always respect our elders. And because of this emotional card which was played by Gandhiji, the very reason that most of the congressmen now, they left the support of Subhash Chandra Bose, they went towards Gandhiji's camp, and again Subhash Chandra Bose realized that he cannot stay in Congress for a long time. This realization made him resign from the Congress. Once upon a time, he had cracked the civil service examination. He had also got a good job. He left it because he hated the British. He would not compromise on his principles. Second time again, he was re-elected as the president of the Congress. Because many of his supporters now went towards Gandhiji, who was playing the sentimental, emotional card, this time also, without compromising on his principles, he resigned from the Congress. The resignation bore fruit, right? On one hand, he resigned from the Congress, and on the other hand, in the year, now this is a very historic year, in the year 1939, historic for two reasons. One, because it is the same year in which the Second World War broke out. And in 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose, after resigning from the Congress, formed his own party known as the Forward Bloc. So here we come to the syllabus where you are expected to study only the objectives of the Forward Bloc. Let's start with the first objective of the Forward Bloc. The very first objective of the Forward Bloc states, number one, and for many of us, this will come as a shock because he demanded, or rather, the Forward Bloc party demanded freedom of India from the foreign rule. Till date, no political party, no movement had come up with this objective of freedom of India. Children, we have done the objectives of the INC, that is Indian National Congress. Nowhere is freedom mentioned. We saw Swarajya Party, we have seen the objectives of non-cooperation, civil disobedience, but none of these movements talk about the freedom of India. It is only the Forward Bloc who took this daring step to demand the freedom of India from the foreign rule. The second objective was that after independence, all right? Now, after independence, what next? It is also mentioned that after independence, India will be turned into a socialist country. The very fact that the objective mentions after independence, you can check in your textbooks also, shows that Netaji was a visionary. Of course, he had full confidence and faith that he would, all right, or the party would achieve freedom, but after attaining freedom, they would also turn free India into a socialist country. We have done preamble in our previous classes. The preamble starts with the sentence, "We the people of India," all right, having solemnly pledged. What have we pledged? To turn India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. The term socialist is there. This is what Subhash Chandra Bose dreamed of making India. The third thing that he stressed on was that he is going to revive agriculture as well as the industries. Now, agriculture would be fully mechanized. Industries would be large-scale industrialization using scientific methods. Technical training would be provided to all, just as in Russia, because he was very, very influenced and inspired by the agricultural developments, the industrial developments which took place in Russia. He dreamed, he thought that he's going to bring the same model even to India. Then he also talks about abolishing, all right, the zamindari system. So, we have Subhash Chandra Bose, who is not in favor of the zamindari system. The farmers and peasants, they were harassed by the zamindars. They had to pay a lot of taxes. The zamindars could own a lot of land, whereas at the same time in India, you did have peasants who were landless as well. So this created some kind of economic differences, social differences in this country. So Subhash Chandra Bose the party had decided that they would abolish the zamindari system. And last but not the least, the party also said that they would develop the bank and the credit systems, meaning the monetary systems, monetary policies would be revised, banking and credit systems would be again revised, and properly policies would be established here, so that it would again, this is more to have the kind of, to keep everybody on the same economic level, financial level, all right, and to sort of bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. So these were the objectives of the forward block. So in this very, very short session, children, what I did was, let me just quickly recap, all right, starting from the first one. I introduced to you Subhash Chandra Bose. Then I explained to you what you all have to do in the reduced syllabus. Just 2 things. However, I have built up the background for this chapter. And then I explained to you in the background, right from the birth of Netaji, when he cracked the civil service examination, why he left the Swarajya party, how this forward block party was formed, and last but not the least, the objectives of the forward block party. So I hope this session has been very fruitful. Thank you very much for watching.